Uh, I follow the CrossFit subreddit a lot. That's kind of where I get my breaking news for the most part. And I remember a while back, Jessica Griffith, there was a thing that came out, some screenshots of her DMs leaked, and where she was complaining to another girl. I forget who it was. I don't even know if it was a top level athlete. And she was talking about how she can't get a CrossFit man because they all go for ethnic looking women, and how she should maybe she should try to get a tan. Uh, uh, how she should try to get a tan, and so that she could get some CrossFit men. And then you have this recent the text message thing that happened, and I'm going to steal a comment that I read from the CrossFit subreddit, where if it looks like a racist and barks like a racist, it's probably a racist, right? And I don't know. She's just, to me, her and Travis both showed their true colors when they were in a private text messaging group and started attacking Chandler and making him feel bad for what he said, right?
That's the big thing. I was like, wait, they just try to flip the narrative. Like, why are you getting offensive? Like,
exactly.
Why are you sensitive or something? Yeah.
Yep. Travis tried to make himself seem like the victim. Chandler, how dare you call me out for what I said? How dare you make Jessica feel bad for what she said? I'm a believer that what you do in private and where you think you are alone is what defines your character, not in public. And when they felt like they were in private and they had the momentum and they had the group behind them, they chose to gang up on Chandler and make him feel bad for what they said. And then when they get in trouble, they now backtrack and they say, whoa, I'm so sorry. I've been really introspective and I've been thinking about it. They had plenty of time to think about it, and they chose to send those text messages. I don't care what you say. And that's where I will never support any of those athletes again. No following, no buying any of their brands that they're sponsored by. I'm done. It's not happening.
Especially like when Jessica Griffith didn't say, they started going, she not only she said it once, she said it another time. If you really get offended, then I was like, come on. I don't care how you say it, the hard, ER, the A, just don't bring it up, because one, it gets too sticky for a conversation. So it's just leave it alone.
Yep. What were the bigger fish to fry? I would love to know what that means.
Well, I think kind of to the extent of what you said, Ryan, is I don't think so much that what surprised me is that they were trying to make Chandler feel bad as much as they were trying to make themselves feel better. And to me, because these kind of conversations could go a lot of different ways, because that Chandler could have made the statement that he made to them, and they could have all instantly been, wow, holy shit, I didn't even think about that. I just, we all are really, I text on my phone all day long. I know how fucking fast I can text. And sometimes I text faster than I can think. And, and unfortunately, when you're in a position or you're not checking your character on the daily, that's what's going to happen. And so I think what really bothered me about that is that I didn't see it so much as them attacking Chandler, because I know Chandler, he's a bigger person than all of this, but them trying to make themselves feel better, I think is what really stood out to me. And I think that, that was them doing that, to me, isn't much different than Greg Glassman putting out a PR apology on Twitter saying, well, that's not what I meant. That's not how I meant it. I was actually attacking this and this thing for that position. You're just seeing at a top level that maybe Greg Glassman wasn't super wrong for wanting to divide the sport from the health entity. Maybe things were getting out of control, and people's true character was starting to, you know, get out there more, and maybe that's part of that. Maybe it was the shift there, but I think you're just all around, much like Ryan said, you know, you're just seeing how people choose to act when they feel safe behind closed doors. And that's, you know, I said it today that privilege is very easy and very comfortable to wear. So you have to be very aware and very careful how you wear it. And I think that you just see people not wearing it well. And unfortunately, also with the climate that the country is in, those things are going to be under an even larger microscope, as they should be, you know. And it's just, I think what's really unfortunate is that within CrossFit communities, gyms, because if you think about it, you have a couple different groups within your gyms. You have your OG people who love the sport and love being a member of their gym, so they know who all these people are. They follow them. They, like Ryan said, they buy their T-shirts, they buy their brands, they watch sanctionals online, they travel to sanctionals. They are super fans of the sport. And then you have another group of people within your gym who, if you walked up to them and you're like, "Hey, Nancy, have you ever met one of our members, Rich Froning?" She'd be like, "Oh no, who is he? Who's Rich Froning?" You know, and so you're gonna have a lot of people in your gym. There's gonna be a lot of people in gyms who are like, "I don't understand what's going on." And then you're going to have another group of people in your gym who are going to be so emotionally conflicted about all this that I think personally that sticking with the affiliate of CrossFit, you almost put yourself in a harder position where you're going to have even more division within your communities, because you're going to have people that don't understand and then people who do understand who are super upset, and it's going to create weird conversations where I think in leadership, if you just kind of take the mantle and pull your ship away from the storm, like, you're going to be able to keep your communities intact on the basis of what people show up for your community on a daily basis for, not on the racist tweets of, you know, top athletes and or faces of the brand. And so I think from everything to the I don't even want to say misfit, because they've done a really good job of axing those athletes. Yes, and shout out to those guys. I've actually talked a lot of shit about those guys in the past, but I gotta say that I'm very impressed with, as an organization, what they stepped up and did, and kudos to them. But, you know, between Greg and that thing, you're seeing the fault of humans, and unfortunately it's tainting the waters of something we all love, and we've all built our livelihood off of, which I think is just, it's going to be a long road. I mean, Danny, I don't know what kind of your thoughts about just how that kind of all is a reflection of itself. But
well, I think we've had so many people inquire about joining our gym just because we de-affiliated. It's like, I mean, I can't even handle all the inquiries right now. Like,
yeah, you're not lying. I've seen it, dude. If you got, like, on our Kingfield Instagram, dude, we're getting like close to like almost 50 followers a day, like, ever since Danny put out the statement for us to de-affiliate. It's insane. But,
yeah, I mean,
sorry.
the thing that people in the community said was that, like, I mean, and this just comes back to just one of the many things, but, like, I have such a consistent conversation with people. I write them a letter every Sunday. I mean, they're used to the tenor of, like, how we speak, how we communicate. They know, I mean, and it's always very thorough, very effective, super informative. So, like, they know exactly how we feel. And, like, I mean, yeah, so it wasn't really a hard decision, but they're used to those things. But those are the processes we put in place. So, I mean, I unfortunately, like, I mean, this is about race. So, like, some people asked me, they said to me, "Why did you make this political?" I was like, "I didn't make this fucking political. Greg Glassman made this political. Like, Greg Glassman put me in this situation." And so I just had to respond in the manner that was best. And, like, yeah, I'm not going to look at Chris Yang, who is, like, been with me forever. He's like my son, who's also Hmong, and then just be like, "Hey, just, like, these white people are they're just ignorant." Like, just, you know, I'm not like, but also, like, I'm not going to ask, like, I have Jewish people in my gym, right? And, like, racism across the board it applies universally, and it's not equal, right? It's not equal. But the thing is that unfortunately, you're gonna have people that are gonna say it's like basically you are thumbs up to racism or you're thumbs down to racism right now, and like that'll change. Like that'll change. People will, like they'll kind of forget about this. People won't know who Rich Froning is. They won't know who CrossFit is. They won't know who Greg Glassman is. They just, and then the gyms will go back to what it is. But I don't want to run that kind of company. Like I don't want that kind of culture. And so, so I just make decisions based on like, what does it say to my staff if we're fearful about making a statement? I think that would just be, I would be so upset with myself. Like, what am I going to tell my son? I was worried I was going to lose money, so I chose the easier route. Like, fuck off. So, I mean, you'll see some gyms they won't do it. Anybody can justify anything. And I think, like, Will, you are going to have to make the decision to be around the community that you want to be, that supports you and stands with you, or you're going to have to stand with that. I mean, Nicole Carroll's email was pretty great, right? Like, so if you have a conscience and if you have a code of ethics and morals, this is not a hard situation. I mean, I've fucking been doing this since 2005. Like we'll still do the Open, we'll still host the Open, we'll still compete and stuff. We're just not going to give Greg Glassman any of our money. So, I mean, but I think you'll see the tide has already come through. So the people that are going to de-affiliate, it's already happened. Not many people else will. Some people will be like, oh, Dave Castro, is fine. He's the CEO. Like I just got an email from a girl who, her name is Bacall, and she wanted to leave her gym because they had an insufficient response. And then she just literally sent me an email, said, Greg Glassman's out. He no longer benefits from CrossFit. I'll stay at my gym. And I want to be like, you're 100% wrong. But I was just like, great. So you guys have to make decisions based on what you're going to do, but I'm not going to lead a group of people at which we choose the easier path or the one that has the least amount of friction or conflicts because we don't like conflict. That doesn't resonate with me at all.
Yep. It's the wrong side of history. You can choose to be on it or, and
totally.
These are the decisions that will make change and will actually make the future better. And so that's where everyone kind of needs to take action. But yeah.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, because you have to look like the decisions that we're making now, they might not even necessarily reflect within our lifetime. But if you look, at what is it, there's the Neil Howe theory or whatever, where it's like history resets itself like every 30 years. We go through crisis, then we tutor, adapt, grow, then crisis comes again. It's like the things that we have to think about in these moments, especially as leaders, is that change will be led by us. It probably won't be seen in our lifetime to the extent that we fight for it, but it's about what happens 30 years from now with Danny's son and my daughter and kids that maybe Mallory and Ryan have, like kids that you have maybe will, like like Danny always puts it, like what story am I going to tell? What story am I going to tell my family? And I think that it's just, I don't know. I know that I'm probably going to piss off a lot more gym owners in the coming weeks and months because I'm going to be very, very, in or against a lot of what I think is happening. But again, I agree. I think we're all in agreement that, like Ryan said, like it's what side of history do you want to choose to be on?
We'll never get out there until we learn to break. We can all make a change, so I'm told, but I haven't